Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Big Four podcast. We have a lot to get into today. We will talk about our teams, some other teams in the Big Ten, other teams around the country, but obviously the thing that is taking up the news today is the incident after the Michigan-Wisconsin game today. The altercation at first between Juwan Howard and Greg Gard, and then Juwan Howard, an assistant coach, and then a big scrum after that.
And anybody else who was
anybody that was near him. A big scrum after that. So what do you guys make of this? What should the repercussions be? Both sides, whatever.
Well, I mean, obviously it's funny, but at the same time, it's unacceptable to happen at the end of the game. Juwan's probably going to be suspended for the rest of the season. And if I'm Michigan, I'm just going to use this to fire him for cause so I can save money. So when I have to fire Harbaugh next year for no cause and pay him out his contract. And then here's the problem Howard has is that so many other things happened and he obviously has to get the worst suspension. Like the guy in Wisconsin that told the Michigan team to suck it is going to have to get a game. Then you have the guys who threw a punch on Wisconsin and the other kid on Michigan who threw a punch are probably going to get 2 games. Diabate is probably going to get the worst suspension out of everybody but Howard because he was just, he could have killed somebody. I swear to God, he was just unleashing. And then Howard's going to get the worst suspension. So he's going to, how many games does Michigan have left? What is 7 games
5.
left? 5 games left? He's done for at least the rest of the regular season, if not also the conference tournament.
Yeah,
first of all, here's the thing too. The whole reason for this confrontation was the dumbest thing possible. Like Juwan getting mad at Greg Gard for calling a timeout when Michigan's down 15 points, 15 or 16 points, with 15 seconds left, full court pressing with their starters in, and then getting mad that he called a timeout to make sure his backups make sure they can break the press and hold on to the ball. Like, who cares at that point?
Yeah, Juwan Howard, history at Michigan has not been good. Of course, the cheating scandal back in the 90s, he was part of it. He was paid to play there. I think we all know that. And there's a reason why those banners are now in the basement and they're not up. He was a part of that. And then, ducking games earlier this year and last year, embarrassing conduct. And
trying
then
to fight Turgeon.
Trying to fight Turgeon, that was embarrassing. Just it's that, and it's just his on-court antics have been a complete joke.
He got teed up last game for threatening a referee.
He picked up a live ball against Iowa. That he should have been thrown out for that. That's embarrassing. You can't do that. That's embarrassing. And then, in the middle, how about a couple years ago against MSU when he just ran onto the court during play because he was mad at a call. This stuff has to stop. And he's a terrible X's and O's coach. I think we know that. And his recruiting, he's done a pretty good job, but he hasn't done well enough because his team's not good enough, obviously. And his coaching isn't good enough to offset that. And now he's just acting like an idiot. He's got to set an example for his program, for his players. And, I don't think calling for his job's appropriate, but if this was any other level, including the NBA, he'd probably be fired. If this was high school, he'd certainly be fired. If at any level of basketball below college, he'd be fired. But, he probably won't be, which I'm not calling for him to be fired. He should probably have a stiff fine and a suspension. But it's just embarrassing conduct. And, the controversy that Michigan's gone through that's been covered up, the past couple of years. They've really had a bad couple of years in terms of optics right now, but it's being covered up beautifully by a blue wall, so they don't have to worry about it too much, I guess.
The assertion that I'm just going to say this quickly before I say what I have to say. Saying Juwan Howard's a bad X's and O's coach and stating this year's team as an example is an absolute atrocity of an argument.
Yeah, he's the only coach in the Big. He's the only coach in the Big Ten that hasn't outcoached Izzo. Only coach.
Michigan gets open shots down every time down the floor and doesn't make them. It's because the roster sucks, and that's on him. But blaming the X's and O's is not.
He's got to have better shooting drills or something. There's got to be something you can do to make him make shots.
Yeah,
Maybe if he did the Mikan drill, they'd be making shots.
the incident today, not a great look. Whatever. I thought the timeout from Greg Gard was Bush League for sure. I
Why?
thought
Why? If he's pressing,
it is.
if
It's
he's
Bush League.
pressing,
That's Bush
if
League.
he's pressing, if Michigan is, if the team that is losing is pressing, still,
I don't
and
care.
so-
There was so little.
that means
time
they
left,
think they
it
have a
didn't matter.
chance to win. That
Didn't
means
matter.
they still think they have a
No,
chance to win.
no,
So
it
why
was
why
Bush
can't
League.
Greg
It was
Gard?
Bush League.
No, it was not. No, it was not.
Yes, it was. I also thought Greg Gard clearly
What
grabbed
was
Juwan
Bush
Howard.
League about it?
What?
What was Bush League
Just
about
don't
it?
do that. You don't do that.
What do you mean you just
You also
don't do
don't-
that?
You also don't keep your starters on a full court press when the game's over when you're losing.
No, that's fine as long as the game keeps going.
Who cares?
No, it was Bush League. But,
He's just looking for confrontation. That's all it is. He's
I also
looking for this.
I also thought Greg Gard grabbed. This whole thing wouldn't have started if Greg Gard didn't grab Juwan Howard walking through the
Yeah,
line.
he wouldn't have grabbed him if Juwan Howard said, "I won't effing forget that."
Yeah, well, he could have just let that go and walked right by. But he didn't.
Juwan Howard is 7. What is he? 7'1",
Fine,
270.
fine. I'm
And Greg
accepting-
Gard's like 5'6".
He didn't. I'm not justifying Juwan Howard's actions at all. Obviously,
Yeah, you are. You literally are.
no. Obviously, that's not what
They
you
oh,
want
he
to do.
grabbed him and
He did. Greg Gard should be suspended as well. He should be
No.
suspended.
that's ridiculous.
I think he's going to get a game. But yeah,
So
I
are
mean,
you saying when another coach shakes another coach's hand, that's assault because he's
he
pulling
grabbed
him?
him. He grabbed him. He blatantly grabbed him.
No,
Whatever.
he didn't
I-
grab him.
But really, I don't really care about the Juwan Howard thing. It's not good that he threw a punch. Obviously, not a good look for us.
It's not good. Yeah, I mean,
But
it's a pattern now.
The biggest
It's
the
unacceptable.
biggest issue out of this is Musa Diabate
Yeah,
doing
that
whatever he was
yeah,
doing
that's
in
fair.
that. Because now we're gonna lose him for I don't know however long he's suspended. We're gonna lose
Probably
him.
the season.
No, he's not gonna be suspended for the
I
season.
mean, the guy in Kansas picked up a chair and he was out for the year. It's probably the same thing. I mean,
No.
he didn't even swing the chair. This Diabate was throwing punches.
No. However long he's out, it's gonna hurt us though. We're trying to play we're trying to make tournament right now, and we can't lose one of our best players. All right, good transition here. Michigan is currently on the bubble.
Listen, here, one thing though is that the old Big East. This is why everyone loved it. It's because this happened on a daily basis. They need to let this happen more.
All right, yeah, good transition. Michigan's on the bubble right now, obviously. Some people have them in, some people have them out. What do you make of their status on the bubble? Do you think they're going to end up making the tournament? Even like given what happened today, given their previous results and their schedule moving forward.
What do they have left? They have Rutgers. I mean, they have a tough schedule to end the year. They have 14 wins now. They probably need to get to 18 wins. I would say you need 18 wins, including the conference tournament, to be on the right side of the bubble. And I don't know if they can do it, to be honest with you. Maybe this is a Juwan masterstroke and the team comes together and starts playing good basketball after this. But I mean, at least you get Illinois and Michigan State at home. You get Iowa at home, and that's your four tournament teams in Rutgers to finish the year out. And you're going to need to get 4 wins in those 5 games plus the conference tournament. I just don't see it happening, to be honest with you.
No, they're getting in, and it's because of the strength of the Big Ten this year. It's underrated how good the Big Ten is this year. A lot of people
I think
talked about how
they're on
bad.
the right side of the bubble right now.
Yeah, I mean, if they get 18, I think 18 is a stretch. If they get to 16, I mean, with how good this league is, maybe 16 or 17 will do it. 17.
Yeah, if they get
include the
16,
conference tournament.
if they get 16, they're going to be 500.
No, it'll be 16 and 14 if they got the
It'd be
16.
16 and 15, depending on where that win comes in the conference
Well,
tournament.
yeah.
Well, Michigan, I mean, well, I mean, that San Diego State win's looking a little better now. And they've still got that Purdue win. And they've got, I think, every game except for Rutgers left on the schedule is a quad one opportunity or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're going to have chances. Obviously, if they lose out, that would be bad. But if they,
Really?
they go,
Great
if they win out,
analysis.
that'd be bad. But if they go 2-3 in these last 5 games, and then win a game in the conference tournament, I think that's good enough. And obviously, you want to go 3-2. Rutgers is a game you should win. So now you got 4 games. You want to go 2-2 in those final 4 games. That's probably the goal. Illinois, that's going to be a tough one. They match up bad with Illinois.
At least they get them at home. They have 4
Michigan's-
games except for Ohio State at home.
Michigan State, they'll be favored in that game. They'll be favored against Iowa. And rivalry game in Columbus, they'll have a shot. They'll have a chance the way Ohio State fades at the end of the year. So
Just isn't true.
Michigan's got a good shot. It's a better than 60% chance to get in, I think. And by the way, the Jet Fry rankings has them at 21 right now. So they're a very good team. They've gotten unlucky this year.
Yeah, I think we're playing better right now. I like our chances to go to a 3-2 the rest of the season, and I think that would do it, unless there's an embarrassing loss in the conference tournament or something. Rutgers and Iowa at home should be wins. There's no excuse not to win those games, and you got to get one of Illinois or Michigan State at home. Ohio State on the road is going to be tough, even though the way they're fading as usual. But yeah, I mean, Michigan, the game against Iowa, I was really impressed with. They played a complete game. Defensively, they weren't great, obviously, but Iowa's a really challenging team to guard. But they made some shots, not from 3, but they were really good inside the arc, which they have been for most of the year. It was a really impressive win, and I thought, the 2 games prior, Purdue, I caught Purdue at the right time, and the Ohio State game once again. I mean, Michigan is one of the worst 3-point shooting teams I've ever seen. Today, 4 for 25. Iowa, 4 for 20. Ohio State was terrible, 4 for 17.
Maybe Juwan should realize that, and instead of getting them open threes, try to get more open shots inside 3-point line.
They don't. I mean, I don't know what they're supposed to do.
Chris knows why they can't do that, because there's no spacing at all with 2 big guys, so they have to shoot.
Well, there's no
They
spacing
can't
at all,
drive.
period. Whether
there's no
they have
spacing.
1 big guy or 2 big guys on the floor, there's no spacing at all, because teams just pack it in. They dare us to shoot and we miss. Aside from Brooks, everybody misses. I mean, Caleb Houston is so bad.
I don't know. Brooks missed a couple straight. That was like
He missed
really
a couple
bad.
open ones today, but he had been shooting the ball really well.
No, he sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his percentages, he's had a really good year in terms of shooting the ball, shooting 41.2% from 3. Easily the best on our team outside of Zeb Jackson, who's 1 for 2 from 3 this year. But yeah, I mean, I think we're playing well enough to go 3-2 the remainder of the season. There's no excuse not to make the tournament. Moussa Diabate's status will probably have something to do with that, but we'll see. All right, Michigan State seems to be fading a bit. Sure Mike has a lot to say about this, but Luke, what do you got on Michigan State's
Fading. We've been
struggle?
bad for 2 months.
I don't know. They're fine. They'll end up winning. They'll end up winning 20 games and going into the conference tournament, and they'll probably be the 6th seed in the conference tournament. Is that where they are right now? Yeah, probably. Yeah, they'll probably be the 5th or 6th seed in the conference tournament. So they'll have a bye. They'll probably win a game or 2, and then after that they'll lose. I mean, I think they're a very predictable team this year. You kind of know what you're getting from them. I don't think they've really beaten any. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't think they've really beaten anybody they shouldn't have beaten. But they also haven't lost any. Well, they lost to Northwestern, which was a bad
Penn
loss.
State too.
Yeah, but other than that, and then they beat Wisconsin, and then other than that, they've beaten the teams they should have beaten, and they've lost to the teams they should have lost to. So they'll probably end up winning 3 of the last 5 games. The game at Ohio State will be tough. But that also could be for a double bye, so it's gonna end up in a big game. But I mean, I think they're gonna get to the second weekend in the NCAA tournament and probably lose then.
Well, we got to get to the tournament first.
Like Michigan State could lose every single game, and they'd still get in right now.
No, I think we need one more win. One more win clinches it. And that win might come at the end of the year against Maryland. Looking at the games that we have, listen, this is an embarrassing product, and it's not good enough. It's as simple as that. This is a result-oriented business, and the results aren't good enough. The coaching is not good enough. The players are not good enough. The 2018 recruiting class has been a complete disaster. There's no other way to put it. Foster Lawyer, gone. Kithier, gone. Aaron Henry, the only good player in the class. Gabe Brown sucks. Marcus Bingham, checked out. Embarrassing. The 2018 class has been a complete embarrassment to MSU basketball. The young guys are a little better, but they're still young and they make mistakes. Christie's been struggling. And point guard play has been inconsistent. We've seen Hogard play great. We've seen him play like shit. It seems like every other game, Tyson Walker plays great, and then he plays bad the next game, and then he plays great again. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. He puts up 26 points in the second half against Illinois. Gives us false hope, and then they lose, so it doesn't matter. He's going to have to be a 15, 16, 17 point per game guy in the year. And we're going to need Bingham to stop being soft. And we're going to need Gabe Brown to actually get off the bus. Or else this team will lose the next 4 games and hope to beat Maryland to get in or the Big Ten tournament. But I mean, there's a 95% chance they get in, but there's also that chance that, they lose the Big Ten tournament, don't get in, which wouldn't shock me the way this team's playing. It's embarrassing, and the coach needs to be gone. If you've been following my Twitter account, which I'm sure all our loyal listeners have, I've already called for his job. Tom he's a great guy. He's a funny guy. He was a great coach, but you can't be great forever, and the game's passed him by. The offense.
To be fair, I laugh at that now, but to be fair, you were spot on with the D'Antonio thing a year to 2 years ahead of that too. So I'm not even going to doubt you.
Yeah, and this is it. This is D'Antonio 2.0. And the offensive system is bad. There's no other way to put it. The offense has never been good, but it's been, great point guards that through the years that have kind of masqueraded how bad the offense is. But when you don't have that guy who can run the show, it can get embarrassing at times. No ball movement, stagnant. And then you don't have a post player to throw the ball into. And I know Tom's always obsessed with throwing the ball in the post. So he puts Bingham down there, who's one of the worst post players in the Big Ten, throws the ball to him 20 times a game, scores maybe 1 out of 20. Luckily Marble's been okay down there, but I mean, it's not good enough. And then the recruiting's not good enough. I already talked about the 18 class, but we're going to have to, where's that big man? Where's the big man that you look at and you're afraid of? Where's the Nick Ward? Where's the Xavier Tillman? It's not there right now. The recruiting of big men has been bad, which is huge because we need that post presence because the offense is so stagnant. Tom is very lucky that this team is very good defensively because this is last year's team, but with a good defense. That's the only difference between this year's team and last year's team because the offense is marginally better at best. And it might be worse because Henry was very good at the end of last year. And it's unacceptable. And it's hashtag Tom Crean season.
Yeah, I mean Michigan State, I think will be fine. They'll go on a run.
Fine at Michigan State is a Sweet 16 appearance. That's fine.
Yeah, I think
Anything but worse than that is unacceptable.
I think they can
mean,
get to the Sweet 16. Obviously they're not playing well right now. The loss to Penn
Well,
State was
yeah.
just vomitable.
the Corsi actually has them as a 5 seed, which is inexplicable.
I agree with you, Mike, in terms of some of the rotations, having certain guys on the floor. Malik Hall does not play enough, obviously.
Well, he has sucked the past 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't great against Illinois. He only played 16 minutes.
Yeah, because he sucked. And he was banged up.
Max Christie plays way too much. Gabe
Well, at
Brown.
least he doesn't punch people.
Gabe Brown has been terrible since the beginning of conference season.
He's only okay on defense, and he sucks at everything else. He can't shoot anymore. He can't dribble. I've never seen a forward who can't dribble. He literally can't dribble. He takes one dribble and has to give it up.
I mean, I just don't think the roster is very good, to be honest. I'm not going to start doubting Tom Izzo quite yet. I think the roster sucks, and that's on him.
I started doubting Izzo 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's on him for sure. The roster's terrible, but I mean, it is. No, you look at the guys on the team; they're not good. So, I think it's impressive that they are where they are.
Yes, I mean, I've never seen a team with so many players who can't dribble. So many players. Christie, he's a young kid. He's not a very good dribbler. He can't go by guys. Hauser, yeah. Hauser's been a lot better this year, though. I've never seen a player pass up so many open threes. But, Malik Hall can't dribble. And once in a while he'll dribble and he'll look pretty good. When Marcus Bingham is your third best dribbler on the floor, that's not a good thing. And, if this Tyson Walker thing is real, then here's what's got to happen. Here's what the lineup needs to be. We need the 2-point guard lineup out there because we need two guys who can penetrate, get into the paint. We need Hogarth and Walker in the starting lineup. Get Brown out of the starting lineup. Either put Hall at the 3 or move Christie to the 3. Keep Hauser at the 4. And then Marble's got to start because Bingham he's a joke and he's completely checked out. He's been bad defensively and he's been bad offensively the past couple of games. So there's no point in playing him now. Might as well play Sissoko over him at this point.
All right, let's move on to Ohio State. Luke, I mean, Chris Holtmann going into his typical Holtmann fade here at the end of the season.
Yeah, the Holtmann fade just doesn't exist.
A home loss to a bad Iowa team.
An Iowa team that's going to
make their net rankings high.
Yeah, I don't know why. They're terrible. They lost to Michigan at home. That's an inexcusable loss.
Well, where are they in the Jet Pri rankings? That's the question. They're 35th.
No, yeah,
35th.
They're bad. So yeah, Luke, what
Ohio State's 13th.
Listen, it wasn't a good loss. We started out the first 10 minutes of the game was the best basketball I've seen us probably play in the last 2 years. And then after that, when Liddell and Key and who else came off, and Branham all came off at the same time at the 10-minute mark in the first half, and we just couldn't score from then on. It was just bad. There's no excuse for it. We should have won the game, but we're still in a decent position to make a run here. And even, I mean, we beat Indiana in that game at Illinois. Probably becomes for first in the Big Ten because we have an easy schedule out after that. So we're still in a good position. We're in a really good spot to get a double bye, and we're in a really solid spot to get to try to get a share of the number of the Big Ten regular season. But I looked up some numbers, Chris, because this Holtmann fade thing is ridiculous. And in February and March at Ohio State, Chris Holtmann has a 56% winning percentage at Ohio State. So that's basically all conference games plus the conference tournament plus the NCAA tournament.
That's not that great.
That's not that good.
Okay, that's fine. 56%.
That's not that good.
Let me finish.
Compare that to his other record, his overall record.
Let me get there. His conference winning percentage was 59%. So it's only 3 percentage points lower. So he's just not a fade. It's just not a fade. The problem is The problem is always schedule the easiest schedule in the world, so we start off like 12-0,
No,
and then we get into conference play,
this is
and
a
that's where we
fade.
start to
It's a
struggle.
fade.
It's not a fade because he's
It
not
is a
fading.
fade.
No, you can excuse last year because of Kyle Young being out. You just you don't
The
understand
last
how
4
big of a
years-
player he is for them.
This is his conference record in the last 4 years, in his first 4 years: 15-3, 8-12, 11-9, 12-8. He doesn't fade. He's just above average.
He fades.
He doesn't fade because there's no fade.
He
He's
does.
just
He
above
fades.
average. No, he's just above average. He needs to start taking it to the next level in the next year or two, or else I'm going to be calling for his job.
I mean, this Ohio State team, I mean, it's kind of turned into a lot better of a team than I was expecting, and it starts with the emergence of Branham. I mean, that's been unexpected. He's turned himself into an NBA draft pick at this point, and they're a lot better team I thought they'd be.
Well, we're
Obviously,
missing,
that's not.
we're missing our best player, Mike Justice Sewing.
That's right. Justice Sewing's out, and Seth Towns is out.
Yeah. I don't think Seth Towns has ever played a basketball game in his life.
But it's not a great loss, but it's not unexcusable, but it's not a terrible loss.
Pretty bad.
Iowa
bad.
was still an okay team. Obviously, they played bad and they deserve to lose.
Iowa is a
But-
team that had zero quadrant one wins coming into the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ohio State's gonna have plenty of opportunities. I mean, if they play Indiana, they should win that game. Really, they should win every game on their schedule except for the Illinois game. But yeah, Ohio State will be fine.
At least on the bright side, our coach doesn't punch people.
The one thing you got to watch out for is if Ohio State's a 5 or even a 4 seed, that 4-13 game. You better not lose that game. That's for sure. That would be bad.
Yeah. We wouldn't hear the end of it.
Yeah, I mean Ohio State, they're just they're okay. They're nothing special. Liddell's a
Well,
great
no,
player.
they're 13th in the Jet Pri rankings.
Liddell's a great player, but I don't really trust anything else. Branham's okay. Zed Key sucks. I'm tired of hearing about Zed Key. I just think
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. He's a great player. That's a ridiculous statement. He dominated Dickinson.
I expect Ohio State to probably go, 13-7 in the league. What are they? Have 5 losses right now? Yeah, they'll probably lose to Michigan State and Illinois. So yeah, I mean Ohio State, Holtman is fading for sure right now. This is a team to look out for as an upset, for sure.
Well, if Kyle Young somehow loses an eye before the game, then you better watch out.
It's an abominable loss to Iowa. I can't excuse that loss. It's an abominable loss.
Oh, give me a break.
It is. Iowa's horrible.
Iowa's a tournament team.
They're
It's
terrible.
not a bad loss.
They're going to be on the bubble. Iowa will be on the bubble by the end of the season.
MSU lost against Northwestern at home. I mean, that is not an abominable loss.
It's abominable.
It's not. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Michigan lost at UCF. Give me a fucking break.
Well, UCF, that's okay. That's pretty bad, but still, it was abominable for Ohio State. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We'll talk about the Big Ten extensively. You can talk about who you think is gonna win the league. Some other teams if you want to go in on them. Then we'll predict who's gonna win each of the other power conference leagues, and then we'll do the pick a game thing, and then we'll be on.
Oh, great.
So. You can talk about the Big Ten. Who do you think is going to win the conference? How many teams will they get in the tournament? What do you guys got?
Well,
Yeah, we'll do that for every conference. Actually, who's going to win the league and how many will get in?
okay. Well,
All 32
first,
conferences?
No, all 6.
No, we got to do the 10 conferences that are in the Jet Pri.
All right, let's relax.
when it comes to the Big Ten, and who's going to win the regular season, I'm gonna go with Wisconsin because I think it's pretty much going to come down to that. They have the easiest schedule. And I think it's going to probably come down to that Purdue-Wisconsin game, and it's at Wisconsin. So I'm gonna go with Wisconsin, and Wisconsin beat Illinois earlier, or Purdue earlier in the year. But I So I'm going with Wisconsin, even though I know Chris is going to pick them. And mainly the other reasons why is I think they're probably the most solid team. I think Purdue and Illinois have some question marks. And then when it comes to how many teams are going to get in the tournament, I think you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna go with 8.
I've got Illinois winning the league. I think Purdue's going to lose one game. They got 3 games left. I think they're going to lose one of them at MSU, at Wisconsin, at home against Indiana. They'll lose one of those games, and they'll finish 15-5. I think Illinois is going to win out, and they're going to finish. They're going to finish 16-4, and that's going to give them the regular season title that they should have had last year, which they did win in terms of how many games back or games ahead they were. Wisconsin, I think, is going to lose to Purdue or Rutgers or both. I don't think they're going to be. They'll be there at the end, but they're not going to finish it out. And right now, I don't think Ohio State, Rutgers. I don't think any other team is a big factor right now. Ohio
The only
State
teams that have like legitimate shots are Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin, and then Ohio State has an outside shot just because they only have 5 losses.
Yep. And I think there's actually probably the best chance of the thing that has the best chance of happening is probably an Illinois Purdue tie at the top. But I'm going to go with Illinois because I still don't trust Purdue. And how many tournament teams is the Big Ten going to have? Well, Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Rutgers will get in, MSU will get in, Michigan will get in, Iowa will get in, Indiana will get in. What is that? 9? 9 tournament team. I'll go with 9.
Yeah, this is a tough
It's either
one.
8 or 9.
I really, really don't want to say Illinois is going to get part of this title, but looking at their schedule ahead, it's tough to see them not winning out. But just for the sake of my take, I'm going to say they're going to lose to Michigan, and I'm going to take Wisconsin to win the league at 16-4. I don't think they're going to lose the rest of the way. I know they have to go play at Rutgers, but I think Rutgers' home winning streak come to an end at some point. Wisconsin's the perfect team to go win a game like that.
Well, Wisconsin's not very high in the Jet Pride rankings, so
I tell you what, Wisconsin looked really good today.
Wisconsin's 23rd in the Jet Pride rankings, and Rutgers was
If Greg Gard was smart, he'd check himself into the hospital tonight so he can get something going for him.
I really like Wisconsin's team. I think they're going to win the league 16-4. And tournament teams, Purdue, Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio State. I do think Rutgers will make it. Michigan State. I think Michigan will sneak in. I think Iowa will sneak in barely. And Indiana will not make the tournament. I'm going with 8.
That's what I was saying. Either Michigan or Indiana is going to be on the other side.
Yeah, Indiana's not going to make it. It's going to be a classic from them.
Indiana's going to beat Purdue at the end of the year.
Ohio State for Indiana. Let's see. Ohio State loss. Rutgers lost. Purdue lost. Out in the first round of the conference tournament. They're not going to make it.
Archie Miller could have done a better job than that.
Could have done the same thing.
Exactly.
All right.
If Indiana gets the 20 wins, they're not leaving them out.
They're not going to get the 20 wins.
Maryland,
that's who
Indiana.
Maine needs to add. Maine needs to add Archie
They'll
Miller
beat
to their wish
Maryland and
list.
Minnesota. That's it.
Maryland, Minnesota. That's if they get to 19 with a win in the Big Ten tournament, they'll beat Rutgers at home. They'll
No,
get
they
20
won't.
wins.
They will not. They will find a way to miss the tournament. All right. Let's go to the Pac-12. Who's going to win the league? How many teams get in?
Is Washington State still beating USC right now?
No, USC
No.
ended up winning.
Damn, I was going to say this conference sucks. I think they're going to get. I'm going to go with 5 teams in.
Jesus Christ.
What?
I just think. Here's the thing. I think Colorado's. I don't think Colorado's a tournament team, but you're a power 6 team, and you get to 20 wins. I don't know how you get left out. So I'm gonna go. Okay, no, I'm gonna go with 4 because Colorado's this team. I think they suck, but they're gonna get to 20 wins. So, but and then I think Arizona's have they not clinched it yet?
They might have clinched a share.
They're 2.5 games up on USC.
No, they haven't clinched it yet. No.
With 3 games left, 4 games left. I'm going with Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona, and I'm gonna go with 3 tournament teams. I don't think Oregon gets in. That was an embarrassing loss in Tucson. Game they should have had, lost. Then a couple days earlier, they get run off the floor by a sneaky good Arizona State team. I mean, they're playing a lot better lately, Chris. Arizona State, they can make a run in the conference tournament. They might pull an Oregon State.
Oh, hopefully not. That would be a disaster.
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think they're going to lose to UCLA and USC, and that's going to be it because they're going to have no other decent opportunities left. Jesus, their game at Washington State's on CBS. What the hell?
that might be
What a choke
that
job
might be a
this
winner
has
go
been by
home
Washington
game for
State.
Oregon, honestly.
At Washington State.
Yeah, the Washington State's not bad.
No,
Washington
they're not
State's lost
good. They're
5 in a row.
7 and
What a
8 in
choke
conference
job.
play.
All right.
3 teams.
What a season, Mike! What a season Oregon State ended up putting together this year after going to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, whatever it was last
Elite
year.
8. Yeah, they're not doing as well.
3-22 and 1-14 in conference.
Yeah, they're getting run off the floor by everybody right now.
I'm gonna go with Arizona to win the league, and I'm gonna take 4 teams. I think Oregon will win both of their games this week against UCLA and USC.
Actually, bid steal. I think Oregon State wins the conference tournament. I think they're going to do it again. What seed would Oregon State be if they won the conference tournament? 16
playing.
Playing 16. What would they be? They'd be like
I mean,
they'd probably be like 7 and 20 somethings, 25.
To be fair, I'm looking at their schedule. They scheduled a pretty tough out of conference schedule. I don't know why they did that. I mean,
It doesn't matter who they played. I mean, they were.
I know. Iowa State, Princeton, Wake Forest, Penn State.
Yeah, UC Davis.
Texas
That was a
A&M.
tough one.
Well, listen, I'm just trying to. I know why you schedule tough games like that.
Yeah. So 4. Oregon will get in. All right. Let's go to the ACC. It's really been a premier conference this year. Who's going to win the league? How many teams are going to get in?
Duke's going to win the league. I think they're the only good team in the conference. The only team that might have a shot is Miami, but Duke's going to win it. I don't think Notre Dame's that good either. And then 4 teams get in, maybe. Duke, Miami, Wake Forest are the only 3 teams I think like legitimately deserve to get in. And that, like UNC is probably going to sneak in because they're going to have like 22 wins, but they're going to have 0 good wins, 1 good win all year.
They have 1 quad 1 win.
It's a joke. It's ridiculous that if UNC shouldn't get in. It just shouldn't get in. They'll probably get 5 teams. They should only get 4. I'll go with 5.
Yeah, I think Duke's going to win the league first time since was it like 2011?
Well, actually, in the ACC, the conference tournament's what matters, not the regular season.
Yeah, that's true, but they still count regular season. They don't have a trophy for it, but teams still claim it. Yeah, Duke's going to win it, and who's going to get in? Duke's going to get in. Notre Dame's really close. I don't know. They're one of those bubble teams right now. Miami right now is they're in, but again, not firmly in. North Carolina in, not firmly in. They're right in the bubble. I think Wake is pretty firmly in at this point.
Yeah, I think Wake, Miami, and Duke are the only teams that are locks right now.
Yeah, I don't know if Miami's a lock yet. Virginia right on the bubble. That win at Duke was big. They got to do some more things, but I think Duke's going to make it. I think Wake's going to make it. I think UNC sneaks in. Miami. and Notre Dame.
You want
so
to?
what is
You
that,
want to talk
5?
about it?
I'll
Yeah,
go 5.
I'll go Duke to win the league, and I'm gonna go 4. I don't think North Carolina is gonna make the tournament. Their resume isn't good enough.
That'd be a disaster.
Chris, your bias is blind to you. I 100% agree with you on North Carolina about them being a horrible team, but they're gonna have 20, probably 22 wins going into. You
Nah,
think
it
they're
doesn't
gonna
matter.
keep
Their
a
their
power
resume
conference
is
team with
horrific.
22 wins out of the
Horrific.
tournament?
No,
I agree with
they're
you.
not gonna make it.
22 wins. 22 wins. They're not going to keep a team like that out.
I disagree.
They beat Michigan.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I'll go with 4. It should be 1. Duke should be the only team that makes it out of this conference.
Wake Forest.
Maybe Wake Forest. I'd have Wake Forest in the bubble and Duke in. That would be my ACC, but I think it'll be 4. Okay.
Steve Forbes, Coach of the Year, National.
All right. We haven't done the big
A10.
Oh, SEC. That's what I want to do. SEC.
I don't think the SEC is a weird conference because I feel like they're not as strong as we thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year, but maybe that's just because they beat up on each other. I'm going to go with to win the league. I'm going to go with Kentucky. As I just think they're better. I still have question marks about Auburn. I don't know how Kentucky's going to do it because they don't have the tiebreaker, but they'll get a split, and then they'll have 5, 6. I think they'll get 7 teams in. I think you'll have the 5 ranked teams: Auburn, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, and then I think LSU gets in, and then I think Florida will be on the right side of the bowl.
I think there's going to be a tie at the top, Kentucky and Auburn. We'll split. And I agree with Luke, 7 teams: Auburn, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, and Florida will be on the right side. Mississippi State and Mark Watts will miss the field.
I'm going to go Auburn to win the league. I think Kentucky will lose at Arkansas, and Auburn will lose at Tennessee. And it'll end up being Auburn's championship. And I'm going to go 6. I think Florida is a complete fraud, and they will end up losing 3 games at the end of the season here.
No, Florida's a team that if they get in the
4.
tournament, they can make a run.
Yeah, but I think they suck. And they're going to lose 3 out of 4 games. They're going to lose to Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky to end the season. LSU
is Jerry Stackhouse still the coach of Vanderbilt?
Yeah. He's doing a good job.
Great.
I think there will be 6 teams, but if I were making a tournament bracket right now, LSU would be firmly on my bubble. They are heavily overrated by everybody.
Here's the thing.
They have good metrics.
Yeah, exactly. They have good metrics.
Who are you putting in then? Are you gonna put multiple mid-major teams in from multiple conferences?
No,
so you're gonna have like a 38 team tournament.
I would rather have a team like right now. I'd rather have a team like Florida in over LSU.
Come on, they have wins against Kentucky, Tennessee, and at Florida.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. They played a cupcake non-conference.
And they beat Texas A&M when Texas A&M was decent.
They didn't beat anybody in non-conference, and they're 7-7 in real games.
They did lose to Vanderbilt in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Be careful. Be careful what you say about LSU because you might want if you say some bad things, keep your door locked because Will Wade will be knocking.
I think it'll be 6, but LSU is not a deserving team. Okay. All right, let's go to the Big East. Who's going to win the league? How many teams will get in?
I don't pick mid-major conferences.
They'll get 0 teams in.
0?
0 teams, and nobody will win the league. Now, Villanova is going to win the league. They have the tiebreaker over Providence, and I just can't. It doesn't matter
because Providence is going to play 17 games. So,
well, I just can't pick Providence just out of spite, just because how much you love them. And how many teams are they going to get in? 4. I'll go with 4.
Jesus.
Well, who else is getting it? Maybe 5 if you put
What are you
Marquette in.
talking about?
But other than that,
Uh,
I mean, who are you going to put in, Chris? Providence, Villanova, UConn. The only 3 good teams in the conference. Everyone else is a fraud.
Okay, there are. All right, you know, what? Mike, you can go, and then I will.
I'll give you Creighton. That gives you 4. And then other than that, everyone else is a fraud. I'd rather have LSU and Florida and over anybody else in the Big East.
Oh God.
I'd rather have Maryland in than most of these
And
teams.
Indiana.
Yeah. To win the league, yeah. Listen, Providence. I've never seen a luckier team in my life. You know, I was even my mom commented how lucky Providence was today. Missing free throws. Butler's just terrible. That was one of the worst wins I've ever seen from a quote unquote contender. But I think Providence is going to lose twice to end the year, either against Creighton or in Xavier, and then they're going to get boat raced by Villanova, so that they won't win. Villanova will find a way to win. And who's going to get in? Providence will get in. Villanova will get in. UConn will get in. Xavier will get in. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one of Seton Hall, Marquette, and Creighton will get in. So it's 5.
That's just like blatant, like objectively horrible.
Listen, I don't know about Xavier. Xavier's firmly on my bubble.
Okay,
right now.
that's enough. That's enough.
But
Okay,
you know,
that's enough.
I can't wait till Chris puts St. John's in his field.
No, I'm not. First thing I'm going to do though is tell you that Providence is going to win this league.
No,
Villanova is going to
win the league or tie at the top.
No, they're going to win the league
Jesus,
because Villanova is going to lose to Connecticut on Tuesday on the road.
okay,
and,
they still could, and Villanova will still win the conference.
No, and then they'll beat Providence, and Providence will finish 14-3, and Villanova will finish 16-4, and Providence will have the better winning percentage, giving them the championship. Which is what the Big East has said the championship is decided by this year. So Providence will win the league without beating Villanova once.
Yeah, I got 5 teams. I don't think Creighton's going to make it. I don't think Seton Hall's going to make it. I think Seton Hall's going to fall off. I don't like them at all.
The biggest problem with the Big East is they need to kick Georgetown out. They need to vote to kick Georgetown out. The fact that they go 6-20 right now and 0-15 in conference, and they extend to Patrick Ewing is a joke.
Well, the extension was last year, wasn't it? It was just reported now, which I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, it's still a joke. Why would you even report that now?
Anyways, in terms of tournament teams, Providence, Villanova, Creighton, UConn.
No, Creighton's not a tournament team.
Marquette, Seton Hall, and Xavier, probably 7.
Allen Iverson should be watching out for his life because Patrick Ewing needs another guy to die for him to make a run to the tournament and keep his job.
So I'm going to go 7 teams.
Jesus Christ.
If you look at everybody's brackets right now, outside of the Jet Pri bracket, they have 7 Big East teams.
Well, Jet Pri hasn't come out with his bracket yet. Yeah.
Well, other than
That's
the
a
Jet,
good idea.
other than the Jet Pri, every bracketologist has 7 Big East teams right now. Unlike Luke, who had 2.
Well, I don't even know. Creighton's 52nd. Penn State is ahead of Creighton and Jet Pri.
Jeez.
Marquette is 46th. North Carolina is ahead of Marquette.
I think St. John's could be a possible bid steal. I'm not sure. I mean, if they won out, they could be in the field, but I think they're playing better right now.
What's your infatuation with St. John's?
I said
them, they sucked at the start of the year.
I had them being good.
Both of you laughed at me. You're like, oh, St. John's. Oh, look how great they are.
I like St. John's. I agree. They could be a bid steal for the one bid.
Maybe if they had an actual coach, then they'd actually have a chance to win something.
Okay, Big 12.
Big 12. Kansas is going to win the league. How many games left? 3 or 4? 5 games left against. They have Texas and Baylor, and then 2 games against TCU. But they'll still win the league. And then they'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 teams in. With a couple possible bid steals, but Oklahoma State will not be one of those bid steals.
Well, they aren't even eligible for the conference tournament, are they?
No, they're not eligible for any postseason play.
Yeah, Kansas is gonna win. Kansas will get in. Texas Tech will get in. Baylor, Texas, TCU, and Iowa State. Iowa State. I was looking at Iowa State's schedule. It's pretty favorable. They've gone through their tough part of their schedule. I think they'll get to like, I don't know, what is that, like 7-11 or 8-10, and with their non-conference, that'll be good enough.
They're at
TCU.
18 wins. They get to 20 wins. They're fine.
Yeah, TCU. I think they'll figure something out. I trust Jamie Dixon. I think.
And the greatest Big East coach in the history of the Big East.
Yeah. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 teams. I think Oklahoma's. I think it's a little too late for them.
This is a conference though that you could actually have a legitimate bid steal. There are a couple like Oklahoma, West Virginia, are 2 teams that I don't think they will, but they definitely could go on a run in a conference tournament.
I pretty much
Especially too
agree.
because of how inconsistent the top of the league is. Like teams like Texas. I mean, Texas can get upset any game right now.
I agree. 6 teams, Kansas to win the league. I think Iowa State is a team that could go into a free fall, which they're kind of in right now. So I mean, I think 6 teams is the right number. Kansas State's a team to watch too, in terms of getting in. They've been playing pretty well. Okay. All right, pick a game we haven't talked about.
Well, what about the American?
Pick a game we haven't talked about.
The American, SMU is going to win the American. They'll get 3 teams in. 3 teams in.
What about the Mountain West?
No, I'm not going to talk about the Mountain West, even though they're going to get 5 teams in along with the WCC. But this is what I want to talk about, because I think this is the most interesting thing. It's not necessarily a game, but it's going to be the closing stretch of the Ivy League schedule. Because right now, you got the Ivy League, 4 teams go play in the conference tournament. Winner gets the bid. You have the 4th team's going to suck, but you have 3 teams. Princeton's 9-2 in conference, Yale's 9-2 in conference, and Penn's 9-3 in conference. Those 3 teams are all very solid teams. Penn has underachieved so far, but they have the most talent in the league. And that the closing stretch to be, because in the Ivy League, the 4th team in sucks. So you got to be that 1 seed. So you basically get that bye to the conference championship game to get that bid. And these 3 teams are going to be fighting for it. Princeton plays Harvard twice and then plays Penn to end the year. Yale has to play Penn to end the year, I believe, and Penn has to play both of them. So down the stretch, this could be interesting. I'm just saying, watch out for that. That's going to be best conference tournament by far.
Yeah, I want to talk about some coaches that are on the hot seat. So I'm on this website. It's an article, 10 coaches who are on the hot seat. And I'll go down from 10 to 1, starting with number 10, Patrick Ewing. Appears he's not as on the hot seat as people think.
No, he's not on the hot seat because Georgetown is a joke of a program, and they only give it to people who are related to the program or friends with the administration.
Number 9, Brian Gregory from South Florida. They're not doing too well at all this year. Bobby Hurley, Arizona State.
No, not on the hot seat at all.
No,
That's a school problem, not a Bobby Hurley problem.
I don't know what it is. I feel like he needs to leave. He needs to come back.
Maybe he can leave, but it's not his fault. What's going on?
He needs to take like a Big East job or something.
He needs to be on the hot seat just for bringing in Luther
Not his
Muhammad.
fault. What's going on right now?
If Georgetown comes open, he should take it.
Well, Ed Cooley's going to take that if Georgetown comes open.
Number 7, Fred Hoiberg.
No.
Man, I don't know. I don't know what he's stuck at this point, you know. I don't know how you can get much better. I mean, Nebraska's got an okay roster. They're just not good enough to compete in the Big Ten physically. So I don't know how you improve that quickly. I think it's going to take several more years if they're going to stick with that. Dylan Howard, Alabama A&M. How is he doing this year?
Probably not great. Since they're in the SWAC.
No, number 5, Richard Barron.
Oh, he was canned.
Richard Barron, no longer the head coach of the University of Maine. That's going to be an interesting coaching search. I'm sure we'll be covering that in the offseason.
LH14.
I can just give you my inside sources. I've heard they have 3 candidates.
No, 4 candidates.
Oh, they got 3. I have Luke Hill. This guy is international player coach. Rick Pitino and Brad Stevens. I heard they're down to those 3.
No, your sources are wrong. Because my sources are telling me it's between Luke Hill, Steve Lavin, Tim Miles, and who was the 4th guy that I had? I don't remember now. Those are the guys.
You got to try and get Jim Kellerman. Maine hasn't had double-digit wins since 2012. Jesus Christ.
They got a big win today.
Yeah, they did. That was
Too bad
a good
they're going
win.
to miss the conference tournament.
No, what are you talking about? No, they'll find a way.
No, I thought they were automatically in because Hartford was kicked out.
No, because Stony Brook was kicked out, but Hartford can still play.
No, because there's. No, I think
still-
I don't know. I can't. I don't know how the
Yeah, so Stony
changed.
Brook was kicked out. They'll be in.
They changed the format. I think they're in. That's because they used to have 9 teams and only 8 made the tournament, and then they brought in NJIT, so there was 10 teams, and then everybody made the tournament.
I thought it was only 8 teams that made it.
I don't know. I thought I'm not even going to speculate. All right, number 4, Barkley Radabaugh, the Charleston Southern head coach. What do you guys think about him?
They're going to give him some time. Earl Grant just left.
He's been there for 17 years.
Oh, well, never mind.
Next one, Dan Munson, Long Beach State. This is a good list.
I'm a big fan of Munson, actually.
Oh, the next 2 are good. Number 2, Tom Crean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a mess. I love Tom Crean, but my God, I don't know what's going on there. They have been a complete dumpster fire. And number 1 is is Danny Manning, which shouldn't even that's bullcrap. He's an interim coach.
Yeah.
The other guy on Maine's list is Doug Gottlieb. Dan Dockich, that's another one. Dan Dockich.
I want to talk about this Providence Butler game today. Providence down a ton. It was 19 in the second half or something. And again, I mean, I counted them out this time. I thought the game was over. They didn't have Al Durham. I was ready to say that doesn't count. I'll make a bunch of excuses, but they just found a way to win again. Somehow tying it up in regulation, and then they get to overtime. Tough miss by that guy for Butler who was wide open to win the game, and then somehow they ran the clock out as well.
Nobody has more players who have ugly shots than Butler. Butler is some of the worst shooters I've ever seen. They are an atrocity of a basketball team. They are not a Power 5 level team. Well, I know
they beat some good teams.
I don't care if they beat them. They're a good defensive team. So of course, they'll catch somebody on an off night. But my God, they are a joke. I can't believe I didn't see what's his name on the hot seat list.
Oh, Laval Jordan, yeah.
Laval Jordan's a joke. If Michigan hired him, that would have been hilarious. Luke, this other website has the Richmond coach on the hot seat.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, he's on the hot seat because Maine's about to go steal him.
Just a really impressive win again for Providence. I mean, this team is just so gritty. They win every close game aside from the Villanova game. And that was because, they had a couple defensive lapses, but Villanova probably played their best game of the season, still barely won that game. So, but they had the DePaul game last week. They were down 15 in the second half, came back and won. St. John's, they were losing by a bunch, came back and won. I mean, this team just find ways to win games. That's what you want to see out of a team that's going to advance in March. I think the most experienced team in the country by age. So just another impressive performance from Providence today. Ed Cooley is your national coach of the year as of right now.
Chris, did you see Butler hired Laval Jordan from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, where he was 11-24 in his 1 year? What a hire.
All right, anything else to say before we depart?
Well, Chris Holtman should show up to the game against Michigan with boxing gloves to present to him.
If he's on the sideline for that game.
He'll present him to somebody. Diabate, maybe.
He'll present it to Phil Martelli.
Yes. Which is an upgrade. Juwan did that because he was upgrading coaches.
Yeah, I just want to say Tuesday is an important game for MSU. Iowa is a good matchup for MSU, I think.
A good matchup for everybody because they suck.
Defensively, I think we match up well with them because they don't have a post guy, and it's a game you have to win. If you gotta fight, you gotta get this tournament thing off your back. Get the monkey off your back. Go into the Purdue game with some confidence. But I have no hope. That's all I'll say. I have no hope that this team will win another game this year.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Big Four podcast. Thank you for listening. We'll be back soon with some more great analysis.